is written all over your face. Scientific intricity you created out in space. Oh yeah, you can do what you wanna do. Tap phones, we know you're listening. You can think how you wanna think now, but you can't stop us. The truth is rising. But to lose, we refuse. I will go down without a fight. You think that I can't say what you're doing to me? Yeah. You cannot defeat me, 'cause I'm out of your league. My hand on your heel, I'm pulling through. A step ahead of you. You think that I can't say, you know, higher powers with me.
A higher power's with me. That's right. The Most High. All right, let's get this thing going. A quick update going into our Patreon today. A quick update. Let's go.
The Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that He used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding Him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible Academy. You're invited.
That's right, brothers and sisters. The Hebrew and Bible Academy starts this Sunday, October 31st, and you are invited. You are invited. That's right. I'm going to be talking about that and a little more during our Patreon update. You don't want to miss it, okay? I'll do a quick synopsis. One second here. A better word, I'll do a quick review of what we'll be talking about today, what I'll be going over today in our Patreon, okay? In our Patreon leading into the Hebrew and Bible Academy. For those who are not a part of the Patreon, it's okay. You can join. Okay, you can join the Patreon by actually clicking on that link or copy and pasting that in your URL, okay? And that will be for the Patreon today. There's a lot we're going to discuss with the current update, okay? A lot needs to be discussed, all right? So again, if you want to get in with us today, I'm going to jump right over there in a couple of minutes. In 10 minutes, I'll be there taking phone calls, doing the whole nine under Patreon, okay? Now, let me give you a quick review of what we'll be talking about today, okay? And I'm bringing in Deacon Balas from the Vegas congregation, who's going to come in and give us some insight on some of his experiences that he's been dealing with in Vegas with healthcare workers who are family members and people he know, and the things that they are telling him concerning the current environment. Let me put it that way, or the current atmosphere. Okay. So we're gonna bring in Deacon Balas. He'll be a guest on my Patreon today. I'm going to bring him in. He has some interesting things to discuss. Okay. One moment. So let's jump right in, because I know my people are waiting for me over there on Patreon. Okay. Now, when you join Patreon, be sure. Hold on. 1 second. 1 second. Yeah. 1 second here. 1 second. Thank you. 1 second. Thank you. All right. So the way we'll go here, people are saying in Patreon that it's not showing, but I'm not in Patreon yet. So be patient with us. Okay. I'm doing an update. Now, if you're on Patreon, once you go to Patreon, make sure, because it's not like YouTube, once you click in, you're not going to immediately see the video. Okay? You have to go to the latest update, see the title of it. That's right, Deception. And make sure you click the white arrow in the midst or the middle of that screen. So when you go to Patreon, it's not just going to show you like YouTube. You must hit the play button in order to view that particular update, okay? Thank you, Elder Dell, for putting that in there. If you would like to go to Patreon, that's the link. You would have to join. It's really just pennies to be able to join that. All right, so you do that, and we'll be able to discuss some of the things that we can liberally discuss on that particular platform. There's too many hoops to jump through here, okay? So a lot of the videos on Patreon that could no longer meet the guidelines of YouTube are also uploaded at the Patreon. So if you like all those old classic videos, the debates and different things of that nature that could be deemed offensive today in today's climate, social climate, then go and join Patreon. You'll be able to get all those old videos that can no longer be viewed here on YouTube. Of course, you can talk about any debauchery you would like, sin, killing, destroying, as long as it's dismantling the earth under a Marxist ideology. You can talk against family. You can talk against traditions. You can call each other names. You can use explicits in your rap. You can talk about killing and sleeping around and whatever you want. But when it comes to truth, when it comes to actually telling people exactly what's going on so that they can get their lives together, that's not allowed here. Okay, so it's their platform. If you would like to get all the old stuff that this platform no longer allows, righteousness, healthy discourse and debate, opinions without ridicule, then you would have to join the Patreon. And on the next level, if you want to get it all the way, it's the Hebrew and Bible Academy, okay, where we go into the history. We go into the Hebrew 101, and it's easier to learn or to get familiar with than you might think. And, of course, the news. Man, the news is going to be something else this week, all right? And I was going to have Shapat come on today, but I need him to prepare everything we need for Sunday, all right? So there's a lot of details and information that he has, belonging to the legal field. A lot of people don't know Shapat. He actually went to law school over in England. Well, there's a lot of things that we have out there legally that people aren't being told about that can help us overcome these pressures medically and otherwise that have been put on us at our employment where we're working. So he's going to be discussing that Sunday. All right. That there's a lot of legal things that they're not telling you that can protect you and help you keep your job without compromising yourself or going into a medical procedure or whatever the case is. So he's going to be talking about that Sunday. Now, one other thing here. One other thing. All right. Since we're talking about the Academy, let me give you some updates before transitioning over to Patreon. Before transitioning, let me show you here over to Patreon. That's right. HistoryTimes.org. HistoryTimes.org is where you can conveniently enroll. Okay? Go to HistoryTimes.org and you'll see this screen. The screen you see here. As you can see, it's breaking it all down. Get your Sunday morning dose. October 31st, 9 a.m., New York. Okay? New York time, Eastern time. Okay? On so-called what the world calls pagan Halloween. And watch your children this weekend, by the way. We have brand new in-depth lessons on finding the Ark of the Covenant. We're going to break down the gates of hell. The gates of hell. That's right. There's gates between this world and the underworld. We're going to be discussing that. Israel's tribulation in the wilderness. A powerful lesson. A powerful lesson of how our people were able to survive in the wilderness. And it's going to happen again. I'm going to go into that. Plus more in-depth lessons on marriage and family. Getting back to the old way, the traditional way. Can it survive? And you will not want to miss that particular lesson. Can families survive? So as you can see, you will go right here, and it states here, it shows you how to enroll. So everything you want to know is on that page, and how to actually get in and all that, and all the different options of payment is right there. Okay? So again, historytimes.org. Go there if you wish to enroll in the Hebrew and Bible Academy. It's only $150 for 3 full months. And guess what? It doesn't matter what goes on in the earth. You'll be getting the weekly updates on exactly what to do in any current situation. And usually when people, because what? As a church, we must filter everything socially through the Bible, through God. When it comes to making choices, when it comes to the pressures of the world, these things must be filtered through what we believe first. Levity, see? So if they're telling me to do something that's against my religious beliefs, that's right, the code of the Bible concerning what? Our temples, we have the what? We have the religious right to deny anything that would harm us in the future. Okay? We cannot be pressured politically concerning something that's right for our bodies. We can't do that. That's against the Bible. So those who followed us even through the old Hebrew and Bible Academy, the last one we've just left off from, was able to navigate this last 3 months with no issue, because we were giving them step-by-step details of what was really going on outside of the public scared through media. So again, you don't want to miss the Hebrew and Bible Academy, because the news, man, the news in of itself gives some type of balance, where you have the news out there and then you have us examining the news to give you a biblical perspective, so that our people are not pressured, those who believe are not pressured through propaganda, thinking that you're forced to do something that will be and that is against the God you serve. At the end of the day, you have to live with your body after all of this. We only get one of these. You only get one body. So that's the great thing about the Academy, because we break it down, mind, body, and spirit. Now, historytimes.org, if you would like to be a part of that, let me give you an update real quick of what we'll be going into. What we'll be going into in this Academy is we're going back to September. I mean, not in the Academy. I'm going to handle some of this in the academy too. But on Patreon, we're going to be going into a 2010 video that's right up on YouTube, where Bill Gates stated that he was showing that there are plans for the end of life care versus saving teachers' jobs. So he was talking about a lot of this over 10 years ago. The end of life care, that means elderly care. And you notice when all of this stuff broke out in 2020, it was more so aimed towards the elderly first. So we're going to wrap a lot of these things up to show you that really all of what we're seeing here is the final solution for what Bill Gates was talking about over 10 years ago. End of life care versus saving teachers. So they had to create a climate in which what? Employment could be threatened, including teachers' employment. Hey, I'm going to talk about this on Patreon. The next thing we're going to discuss some reports that are out there in other countries concerning the different tests that are out there. Why? Because brothers and sisters don't know exactly what the ingredients are in the test. And everyone have the right to know what the ingredients are. Okay? And then you can make a conscious decision on what it is that's going on. Okay? Now, when it comes to the swabs, a lot of our brothers and sisters don't know that the CDC also approves different tests, which requires saliva. Okay? There's different tests, but for some reason, the only tests they want to put out there are the tests that are being sent or pushed on the population, having the population believe that it's only one option. Okay, but hey, we're going to talk about that because could there be something in the test that would have us come down with certain symptoms that meet the narrative for the pandemic? Who knows? We'll see. We'll talk about that. The next thing I'm going to talk about, I'm going to go back to a nurse, an RN, a registered nurse, who had something to say during the first week or the first couple of weeks of the pandemic that actually rings true to today. Okay. Now, at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, brothers and sisters, outside of the scare through media and everything else, we still are able to navigate through this world in a practical sense, to use data, and through that data, make a conscious decision. Okay? And what we hope to do is not to give you our opinion on what's going on and what's out there. It's upon us to give you the word of the Most High, first and foremost, to let you know what the Most High require of all of us. First and foremost. Second of all, you have to realize your protections under that God and what's happening on the outside of your beliefs that infringe on your beliefs. You must know that, but a lot of people can't do that. Why? Because they don't understand how to view the world and filter things through what God said is right. So that's our hopes in doing this, even with these updates, not to tell you what you should do, what you ought to do. No, it's so you can get all the information that was out there, then make a conscious decision on if that decision you're going to make is the right decision for you. At the end of the day, what we hope is that your decision aligns with the Bible, with God, okay, with truth, okay, and not be pressured in this world to do something that you might regret, okay? So here we go. It's 1:36. Hope to see you over in Patreon, on our Patreon channel. We're jumping right in. And we're going to go into the current deceptions in the earth. Don't forget the Bible states, and this is the Bible. Job 13:3. Surely I would speak to you, the Almighty, and I desire to reason with God. Let me read it again. Let me read it again. Job 13:3. Let me read it again. Surely I would speak to the Almighty, and I desire to reason with God, with him. Why? Job 13:4. But you on the outside of God are forgers of lies and are all physicians of no value. So we reason with God first. Before what? Before the pressures of the world and the physicians of the world. We reason with him first, because it tells us that this would happen prophetically in the earth. That what? But ye are forged of lies, and you are all physicians of no value. Okay? So we're going to go into that because there's not much I can say here outside of that right now. And we'll jump right into the Patreon. So, if you may, Elder Dell, please put the Patreon link directly in the chat for us, okay? And again, for those brothers and sisters who haven't enrolled in the Hebrew and Bible Academy, get in, okay? This way I don't have to bite my tongue every other second, expressing or giving my opinion or showing any truth to you, brothers and sisters. At least in the academy, we can speak freely. Okay. All right. Thanks again. See you in Patreon. And for those who are not in Patreon today, that's okay. I will be a guest at GOCC NYC tomorrow morning. Tomorrow at noon, GOCC NYC will be guest. So come over to Patreon. I'm about to go in. Shalom.